Welcome back to another episode of Healthy Belly Cooking. Thank you so much for joining me. Now here at Healthy Belly Cooking, I like to focus on delicious, nutritious recipes that help to promote your inner wonderful gut health as well as your outside happy, healthy, good self as well. So today is no different. I have another great recipe to share with you. I'm sure you're going to love it. I love it. And I can't wait to share it. So strap in, sit back, and let's take a journey. Today's recipe is a warm dandelion green and quinoa salad. Oh my gosh, it's so delicious. If you have never had dandelion greens, get ready to work them into your everyday daily diet because they're really wonderful for you, and you will soon find out why. So I'm gonna grab my quinoa and we're gonna get this started. So quinoa is going to be our whole grain superfood that we're using as the base of our salad today. Quinoa is so good for us. I've got some in here, but I don't know if you can quite see it yet. You'll see it later. It is not milled or refined, which means that it still retains all the natural great fiber and nutrients in it that our tummies and bodies love and need and delight in. So good. So what we'll have to do is rinse this off, make sure there's no dust, dirt, or debris on it, and then we'll put it on the stove and let it cook down for a little while. So let's get started. Now for this recipe, you're going to want half a cup of quinoa. I've already got mine in here. You're going to take some water, throw the quinoa in a mixing bowl, put the water on top of it, give it a swirl, rinse it for a little bit, then we'll drain it. We'll take the quinoa that's rinsed, put it in a pot, add 1 cup of water, and bring that to a boil. Half a cup of rinsed quinoa is now in our saucepan with 1 cup of water. What you want to do, go ahead and get that fired up on high, bring the quinoa to a boil. Once it's there, reduce it to a nice slow simmer and cover it with a lid. We're going to let that go for about 10 to 12 minutes once the lid is on it, and the quinoa is going to absorb all that water and become fluffy and tasty. Let me introduce you to today's super green. It is dandelion greens. Now you might think of dandelions as an everyday, unsightly, unseemly, common variety garden weed, but it is so much more than that. I've given these a nice light wash just so they're clean because we're going to keep them raw for this recipe. Dandelion greens have a nice sort of bitter, peppery flavor, so if you like arugula, you're going to really want to embrace the dandelions. They also have a very low caloric intake for the high nutritional payoff. 2 cups of dandelion greens is only about 50 calories, so that is awesome and great. I'm going to go ahead and just give this a nice fine little chop up so when the quinoa's done we can throw it in. And while I do that, I'll tell you about some of the great benefits of this great, wonderful powerhouse superfood green. So to prep our dandelion greens for our warm quinoa and dandelion green salad, I'm going to start by cutting off the stalks. If you happen to compost, this is going to be a great addition to that. Otherwise, just set it aside, put it in the trash. We really just want to focus on having the greens right now. So the great, wonderful, delicious thing about dandelion greens is it is loaded with vitamins A, vitamin C, vitamin K. It is a really great plant-based source of calcium. It has more protein than spinach, and I love my spinach, but this has even more protein if that's what you're looking for. It's great for your nervous system. It's loaded with B vitamins, so that's going to help with your energy and keeping your stress down. It's anti-inflammatory. It's anti-cancer. Just all around a really great super green, and that's why we're using it today. If you don't like the more bitter, peppery flavor, go ahead and throw it in a pot with either some ghee or some olive oil, and just sauteing it a little bit is going to cut down on that flavor. But if you can manage to keep it raw, that's going to be great because once you start to cook it, you're burning off some of those phytonutrients, and we want to maintain as much of the beneficial minerals and everything as we can. That's the whole point. I'm just doing a very light sort of chopping, but if you want to go for bigger, heftier chunks, go for it. This looks great. It's going to wilt a little bit when we put it in the warm quinoa, and it's going to be so good. Our quinoa has finished cooking on the stove. We're going to go ahead and plop it out. Now this is a baking dish. I'm not going to bake it. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Ooh, I love that steam. It never gets old. But we go ahead, scoop out the fluffy quinoa. Here we go. And then we'll go ahead and toss in some of these greens so they can wilt in there. Here we go. Now this is just a small serving because it's just for me. If I was making this for a larger group, you can always double the size of the quinoa, which would be 1 cup for 2 parts water. But this is just going to be for me, so I don't need a whole lot. I'm going to let some of this wilt down. Again, it takes up less space once it starts to get smaller, so I'm going to put in as much as I like. But we are not done. We've got to spruce this up, add some more wonderful, beneficial little extras in here. So I'm going to let this go ahead and start to wilt, and I'm going to grab some other wonderful additions to this salad. It is now time to give our dandelion greens and quinoa salad a little nutritional boost and a taste boost as well. Because even though the dandelion greens and the quinoa alone are really great for you, it's not exactly something that you just want to eat just the way it is. So let's throw in a couple delightful, delicious extras, shall we? The first thing we're going to add is walnuts. Walnuts are so good for your cardiovascular health. They're loaded with omega-3s, and actually the FDA in 2003 recognized walnuts' benefits in preventing cardiovascular disease. So that's really great. Also, a few walnuts a day can help lower your cholesterol, it can help bring down high blood pressure, and it's also a really great bioavailable source of melatonin. So if you have trouble sleeping at night, put down the Ambien, pick up some walnuts, and get some melatonin in your diet. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some of these in because I like that little extra texture crunch. I'm always looking for that. Yeah, so let's add it in. Second addition to the salad, some raw, very thinly sliced shallots. Now, shallots are not new to you. I used them in the last recipe. It's got all those wonderful flavonoids from the pigmentation in the skins. It's all kinds of great B vitamins, you know, it's old hat. But it's also really good for you, so why not add it to this dish? Let's sprinkle some in. Step 3 for the salad. Let's go ahead and boost up the taste a little bit with some wonderful herbs. And today's herb is going to be parsley. This is just some finely chopped up parsley. Parsley is great because it is anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer. It's loaded with antioxidants. It's good for your heart health because it's got some good folic acid, and that is like a tonic for your heart. It is so, so good. It's good for digestion. When I've been talking about garlic, about how that's really good for you, so is parsley. If you have upset stomach or are prone to nausea, a little bit of parsley every day is just going to help make you feel better. It also, it helps you detox some more of your kidneys. It helps detox your kidneys. It helps flush out some of the excess water in your body. So just like the dandelion greens do, you just got some great detoxing going on, as well as the little the power boost from all the good nutrients. And number 4, our last big addition to this salad is going to be some feta cheese. Now, not everybody eats cheese, but again, there's always vegan cheese out there as an option. Now, why I like feta is it is one of the, it's less caloric than some of the other cheeses out there. So it's kind of the best alternative if you're going to go for cheese. And today I am, because just like I like that little crunch of the walnuts, I like the creaminess of some cheese every once in a while too. So indulge a little bit, throw a bit in, just don't go crazy, okay? Now that we have all of those wonderful additions to our salad, let's go ahead and amp it up with a little tangy boost of some lemon. Lemon is antiviral, it's antibacterial, it's immune boosting, it is high in vitamin C, it cleanses the liver, and just the smell of lemon has been said to induce a nice calming effect. So we're going to cut this in half. Just sprinkle it lightly. We don't want it to overwhelm the salad, but just a little bit of that natural acidity is going to brighten up the whole dish. We have arrived at the very final step of today's recipe. Aren't you excited? I'm excited to eat. Hopefully you are too, because this is going to be just so good. What we want to do is every salad needs a little bit of a dressing, and we're going to make ours from scratch. Take a little bit of our Rockstar extra virgin olive oil. We're just going to put it in a little dish. We're going to add to that some red wine vinegar. Now this is anti-inflammatory. It's a great source of added flavor without high calorie or fat count. So just about equal parts of extra virgin olive oil with red wine vinegar. Now, I love my pepper. Omit it if you don't like it, but I'm going to put a few cracks in here just because I think it's going to help really meet the bitterness of the dandelion greens really, really well. And then also, because I like a little kick, I'm going to put in just a tiny bit of some Dijon mustard. So throw that in there too. We whisk it up, we let it marry, swirl it around. Now you don't want the dressing to overpower the dish. Remember, we put in all of these ingredients for a very specific reason because of taste and benefit. So this is just going to help boost the whole thing and elevate it to another level, just like the lemon did, but in a slightly different way. So we've got that mixed. Drizzle that on. Oh my gosh. There we go. Final step, combine everything and then grab a plate, grab a fork, and I'll meet you over in a second with the final plated version. We are at the end of our quinoa salad with dandelion greens journey. I'm going to take a bite, make sure it's to my liking. It's really good. It's really good, but don't just take my word for it. Please make it, enjoy it, share it with the ones you love. Remember, here at Healthy Belly Cooking, it's not just about eating for taste, that's also eating for wonderful, good gut health. Because as long as everything in your tummy is working properly and at its peak, you can be too. Thank you again for joining me. Again, we got our protein in here, we got our calcium, we have our anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, antioxidants, all kinds of great things in this dish. And I promise, the next recipe I share with you will have just as many great, nutritious, healthy benefits to it as well. So join me then. Thank you.